The following program is produced by Edit Extreme. The opinions expressed are those of the participants and are not intended to replace professional advice. Find out more at editextreme.com.
While we were breaking down the end of the shoot and packing up to go, I noticed that one of the kids had Bobby under his arm and he was headed down the stairs and not holding him properly at all, right? Just kind of like, dragging him along. And Bobby's just like, letting him drag him around like this. And I just thought, wow, that's a splendid thing that a cat lets a kid, drag him around like that and doesn't get upset or, try to take a piece of him. So, I talked to the parents about it because I was like, are you sure that this is going to work? Like, are you sure that you're going to be able to actually rehome this cat? And they insisted that regardless of what their children thought, the cat was going to have to go and it needed a home. So I got home and I talked to my wife, Katerina, and we started making plans to bring Bobby into our family. Why do we fall in love with cats? What is it about these furry little beasts that makes us fall in love with them? And what is it about us that makes them tolerate us? In the upcoming interview, John will explain some of this and more.
So the relationship with cats and people, it's been a long, tough ride for them. We're either showering them with all sorts of unnecessary handling, or we're killing them. It used to be believed that cats were first led into people's lives because of the hunting and getting rid of the rodents, but that may not be true. It could be that they were actually brought in probably by women for affection and interaction with a different species in and around at the same time. Either way, they're good rodent killers and they're good providing affection. The nice thing about a relationship with cats from a human's point of view is we can often say things to cats that we can't say to people in their lives. We can talk our true feelings and, really confide in them because we trust them not to say anything or to make fun of us. And that's a very good thing. That's a positive thing. Sometimes we take our emotional things and start hugging the cat like crazy, and they often don't like that. They just don't like to be contained, and so we have to be careful about that sort of thing. But the biggest drawback is we're people, they're cats. We have different needs, we have different ways of responding. We interpret things differently. So it's two species trying to communicate. So it's up to us as the so-called smarter of the two is to figure out what their needs are and fill it in a way that they like to have it filled. Unfortunately, we don't tend to do that. We expect them to be tiny little humans that will respond the same way. Well, years ago, most people that had cats used to just let them out. It didn't seem to be a problem. There was less traffic in those days, so it wasn't quite as dangerous. But the cats would go out and hunt, and they would, have friends, cat friends, people they would go visit. And they essentially had a life that was very enriching for them away from the house. And people would also mistakenly think that they were independent because the cats, under those circumstances, didn't need as much stimulation from the guardians. So other than, just sitting there eating and gaining weight because they're so bored they've got nothing else to do, they can also start scratching furniture out of frustration because hunting is innate. They need to have that in their lives. They need the stimulation, and they need to be able to go out and find things for themselves and to stay busy. It's like taking an athlete and sticking them in an old folks home and hoping they're going to be happy.
We were almost ready to pick up Bobby from his family when we got an email from them saying that their youngest child was having a meltdown and just couldn't bear being separated from him. Now, I can understand this, having seen the kid dragging him around like a rag doll. A cat like that just doesn't come along very often. So we waited. There's a saying about dogs and cats. Dogs get attached to people, and cats get attached to places. In our next episode, John will explain to us why for cats, location is everything.
Like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell. Don't miss an episode of BobCat's Playground. Help us change the world, one cat at a time.
In the upcoming segment, John will teach us some good.